Yes, hello and welcome to the Tameside Reporter Sports Show. We're at the Tameside Stadium this week, the home of Curzon Ashton. We'll be previewing their game against F.C United this weekend. We also speak to Droylsden assistant manager Aeon Lattie after their recent FA Cup success and Steve Burr. So we'll start this week with Stalybridge Celtic, who suffered mixed fortunes at the weekend. They beat Farsley Celtic 2-1 to progress to the next round of the FA Cup. However, on Tuesday night they did suffer a 5-4 loss against Farsley. Now we'll take a look at how that FA Cup victory transpired.
I think it's no more than we deserved. We've been close in a lot of games and we've just lost a little bit of confidence in front of goal, and again today we were a bit anxious. We had a lot of chances where I felt we could have done better, but the FA Cup, we're through to the next round. That's the main thing, and it'll give us a nice lift going in back into the league action on Tuesday now.
And you're playing Farsley Celtic away from home on Tuesday. How do you approach the game given you've played them today?
Oh, we'll approach it the same way. We've got a lot of injuries at the minute, so we'll have to have a look at that, but we'll just approach it the same way. And the lads stuck at it today, and I say thoroughly deserved it. But all the games are tough in this division, but I always look at our team, and if we can get ourselves right, there's still one or two little areas that we need to improve on. But I say injuries hasn't been very kind to us at the minute. But all in all, really pleased for the supporters today and everybody connected with the club, because we want to have an FA Cup run like everybody else.
Now, Mark, just when you think Celtic have turned a corner, they throw away a 3-goal lead to a team they beat 3 days previous.
Yeah, it's strange, isn't it? Obviously, we've just seen the Steve Burr interview then. He was entering that game on Tuesday full of confidence. Obviously, you win in the FA Cup, it gives you an extra sense of confidence. It's a massive competition, massive financial implications. So to then go over to Droylsden Nest, take a 3-goal lead, and then to throw it away 5-4, it's just not acceptable, really, and I guess that goes to show why they are bottom of the table.
Yeah, it's quite disappointing, isn't it? Now, they have been rewarded with an FA Cup trip to Chorley. How do you think they'll do there?
Well, they're hosting Chorley at Bowerfold, so they'll have to make home advantage count. Chorley are in the National League North. The two sides met last season, because of course Stalybridge were in that division last season. So the odds are stacked in favour of Chorley. However, like I said then, Celtic will have to make that home advantage count.
Like you say, it's been a tough start to the season for them, but they take on Stalybridge this weekend. What do you foresee for that game?
I'm not too sure, to be honest with you. At this stage of the season, anyone can beat anyone, but as we've seen over the past few weeks, Stalybridge are being beaten by everyone, so they're going to have to pick up a victory tomorrow, otherwise alarm bells will start ringing.
Yes, well, we'll stay in the Evo Stick Premier Division now, and we'll take a look at Ashton United. They progressed to the next stage of the FA Cup with a 3-1 victory at Marine last weekend. Mark, we said on last week's show that Marine were Ashton's bogey team. Have they put that to bed with this victory?
Yeah, you'd think so, wouldn't you? It's not like they've scraped a victory at Marine. They've gone there and comprehensively beat them 3-1. Fantastic result for Jody Banning's side. They're through to the next round of the FA Cup. I think they just made $3,000 from that previous round, so like I said before, massive financial implications.
Now they take on Newcastle Banfield, is that right, in the next round?
Benfield.
Yeah. What do we know about those? Not a team I've heard of.
Well, they're currently mid-table in the Northern League Premier Division 1. It's a long trip up there, so it's going to be a tough one for Ashton United. That, of course, is taking place on Saturday the 16th of September. On paper, it looks as if Ashton should be winning this one, but as we all know, the FA Cup can produce some shock results, so maybe this could be a banana skin.
It absolutely could be. Now, they returned to league action on Tuesday night, and they fell to a last-minute defeat at Whitby Town. How's that going to affect them going into the game against Halzowen Town this weekend?
I think they'll just have to put it behind them. They've had a cracking start to the season. season. They've been very unfortunate with player injuries, and I was reading online the other day, they've gone through 12 keepers in the past year. That goes to show their problems in the keeping department, but overall on the pitch as well, they have had a fantastic start to the season. So yeah, I think they'll put it behind them, and I'm sure they'll be able to collect 3 points.
Well, we'll move into the Evo Stick First Division North now, where Droylsden made it 6 wins on the bounce. The Bloods progressed to the next round of the FA Cup with a 4-3 victory over Colwyn Bay last weekend, before claiming a 2-0 victory over Skelmersdale United on Tuesday. Now, Mark spoke to assistant manager Aeon Lattie following Tuesday's victory.
2-0 victory over Skelmersdale United tonight. That's a great start for the season.
Yeah, I think it is, to be honest. Just be warning the lads that we've got to make this place a fortress. I thought first half's probably one of the best games I've seen us play, if not the best. The lads are saying it, I thought the tempo was high. I knew it was going to drop at some point, and barring a couple of goals, I thought we'd done everything in that first half.
And it looked as if you could have made it 8 or 9 goals. That's how impressive the performance was.
Yeah, the boys are saying it, and it's good that you guys are also seeing it and reflecting the same thing. We're just happy that we're winning and we're keeping a clean sheet. But we do recognise that someone's going to get a drumming off us at some stage.
Now you've got Lancaster City in the next round of the FA Cup. I think you beat them twice last season in the league, but then they got promoted. What are you expecting from them this season?
I think I had a quick look, to be honest. I think the nucleus of the side that we had last year is still there. We do get an opportunity next week as we play on Monday, so Tuesday we'll go and have a little look at them against Ashton. We've played them before. I don't expect it to be any different from the side that we've played against previously. Brilliant stuff.
And just finally, looking ahead to Saturday's game at Kendal Town, do you reckon you can get the 3 points up there?
Yeah, I think confidence is high, and I think last year when we were on the run, we went to Kendal, played really well for the first 30 minutes, and then I don't know what happened. Disaster kind of struck, and we got kind of battered up there. So I think the boys will want to go up there and put that.
Mark, it's going really well for Droylsden this season, isn't it? Why do you think that is?
I'm not too sure, to be honest with you. I think you take a look at the past few seasons, Dave Pace has assembled fantastic squads, but for whatever reason it's just not clicked, or players have moved on after they've done well at the Butcher's Arm. So hopefully he can retain the nucleus of this squad, and looking at it at the moment, there's no reason why they shouldn't push for promotion.
Well, he retained quite a few players from last season, didn't he, which is quite unusual at this level. Do you think that was important?
Yeah, massively. You look at the likes of Dom Smith, Kieran Kilheeney, they've been on the score sheet numerous times this season, and if they keep up the performances, then they're going to keep on scoring. Liam Caddick scored on Tuesday evening in that 2-0 victory over Skelmersdale. He was fantastic all throughout the game. So like I said then, if they can retain these players, then I see them pushing the season.
Now it's Lancaster City in the next round of the FA Cup for Droylsden. Do you think they've got a chance?
It's going to be a difficult one. Lancaster were promoted as champions from the Evo Stick First Division North last season, so they are playing in a division higher than the Bloods this season. Although going off last season's form, Droylsden beat them twice. They beat them 3-1 at the Giant Axe last season, so who knows, maybe they can.
And they take on Kendal Town, who sit in 17th position this weekend. What sort of game do you think that'll be?
You look at Kendal's current form, they're not doing too well. As you said then, 17th in the table versus Droylsden in second. The odds are stacked in Droylsden's favour, and if they perform like they did against Skelmersdale on Tuesday, I was at that game, they could have beat Skelmersdale 10-0. It was that good. If they put in another performance like that, then yeah, they'll get 3 points.
Well, speaking of Kendal Town, Hyde United beat them in the FA Cup 1-0 at the weekend. Is that a good result for Hyde?
Great result. Any decent result in the FA Cup's fantastic. As I keep mentioning, those financial implications, they've taken £3,000. They've been rewarded with a tie in the next round at Warrington Town, but make no mistake about it, that'll be a difficult tie.
Now, Hyde followed that up with a 4-1 victory over Radcliffe Borough on Tuesday. Now that means they're unbeaten in the league, and Matty Beadle grabbed another 2.
Yeah.
What start it's been for him and the club?
Yeah. Brilliant start for both the club and Matty Beadle, and let's not forget that he was injured during pre-season, so he's not exactly fresh coming into the new season. He's having to build back up his fitness, but like I said then, he's doing fantastically well, and last weekend it was that man Big Kamzuk who scored, so he's going to be another player to look out for.
Absolutely. Now another success in the FA Cup, they've drawn Warrington Town in the next round. What sort of outfit are Warrington?
Warrington, very good outfit. This is their second season in the Evo Stick Premier Division. It's the highest ever league standing they've ever encountered. They were promoted 2 seasons ago. They did well last season. I think they finished mid-table. Like I said then, They actually enjoyed a fantastic FA Cup run a few years ago, live on BBC Two, beat Exeter City, and I think they went to Gateshead and were also on TV again. So they made loads of money from that FA Cup run, and they put it into the playing budget, and it's done them wonders.
Now, how good would it be if we could get some of our sides on telly for the FA Cup? Now, Hyde return to league action this weekend against Skelmersdale United. What sort of team are Skelmersdale? Is it a winnable tie for them?
Well, I saw them on Tuesday against Droylsden, and to put it bluntly, they were woeful. However, they've got Alan Rodgers in charge there, very experienced Football League player for the likes of Nottingham Forest. I think he was at Leeds United as well, although don't quote me on that. But I do know he played for Nottingham Forest, so I think he'll get his players ready for this one.
So we've covered the positives now. Let's go to the negatives. Unfortunately, Mosley have had a really bad week, haven't they? They lost 2-0 going out of the FA Cup to 1874 Northwich. Yep. What sort of game was that?
Well, that was a replay on Tuesday night. However, in the original tie last weekend, it looked as if Mosley had booked the place in the next round, but then 1874 equalised with virtually the last kick of the game. That must have been a bitter pill to swallow, and then to go to the replay and get beat 2-0, not even register on the night, must have been really disappointing.
So they'll be looking to bounce back this weekend at Seal Park against Prescott Cables.
Yep.
Do you think they'll manage that?
Yeah, I do. The league form this season's been fantastic, so there's no reason why they can't take advantage of their home form and go and get the 3 points.
So we'll just pop over the border now to Glossop, who've had a high-scoring couple of days, it could be said. Lost 4-2 to Ramsbottom last weekend, but made amends with a 5-2 victory over Brighouse Town on Tuesday. Now, I know they've suffered a couple of player problems, a few sending-offs, a few injuries. What's it been like?
Well, the latest sending-off was on Tuesday night in that victory over Brighouse Town. That was Liam Brownhill. But, of course, joint manager Paul Phillips was sent off in that FA Cup tie against Mosley just a few weeks ago. He, of course, was playing in net for the Hillmen. And then Russ Saunders came in to cover Paul Phillips in net. He was then sent off the following week. So it's not going too well up at Surrey Street at the moment. But judging by the squad that's been assembled up there, they should do all right this season.
Absolutely. Now they've got a fantastic opportunity to turn it around. They face Ossett Albion this weekend, who haven't won a game all season, so they've got to capitalise, haven't they?
Well, there's no better opportunity to claim the 3 points and make it back-to-back victories. Like you said then, Ossett haven't picked up a victory all season, and in my eyes, they will struggle throughout the entire of this campaign. So Glossop have to win this one if they have any ambition of reaching the playoffs this season.
Now we're moving to the National League North, and as you can see, we are at Curzon Ashton. They ended a 3-game losing week last weekend. They claimed a 1-1 draw with Salford City on Saturday before grabbing a last-minute equaliser in a 2-2 draw at Kidderminster Harriers. That's a fantastic result, isn't it? I know it was the Community Day here on Saturday as well. How good is that for the club?
Yeah, fantastic achievement. Obviously, Salford City are the bookies' favourites this season, backed by the class of 92. New ground, fantastic players who, in my opinion, could potentially push into some League 2 teams. So, like I said then, the bookies' favourites should go and claim the title this season. So to get a draw at the Tameside Stadium against Salford City, fantastic result.
And we must also say Curzon have sort of struggled at the start of this season, so that win should give them confidence, shouldn't it?
Yeah, definitely. And then to go and follow it up with a last-minute equaliser at Kidderminster Harriers, who've got no other than Dan Bradley in their ranks. He, of course, signed for Harriers from AFC Filed for £70,000 just before the start of the season.
It's a huge amount at this level, isn't it?
It's unheard of at this level. So to have the likes of him in the ranks and then to go and get a 2-2 draw down there must have been fantastic. Must have been fantastic for the 10 supporters, I believe, who made the journey down there. Absolutely. Now we know they're low in number, but they're very big in heart.
Absolutely, a round of applause for all those that did make the journey. So they face FC United here this weekend, and FC are struggling this season. We know they'll bring possibly hundreds with them to this ground. But is that an ideal opportunity for Curzon to take 3 points?
Yeah, I think Curzon will relish playing in front of these big crowds. They play in front of a number of big crowds throughout the season. FC United, Stockport County. When Southport are down here, they'll bring a few as well. I think Blythe brought a few just a few weeks ago as well. So, you know, they're no strangers to playing in front of big crowds. I think they will take advantage of FC United's poor form because I think they're in the relegation places at the moment. So, yeah, I think it's 3 points for the Nash.
Well, that is all we've got time for this week, I'm afraid, but you can read more on the TamesideReporter.com, and you can hear more from Mark on Tameside Radio tonight at 6 o'clock.